I'm Doth Savick, and this is the Grip CS2. This bag retails for $179. It weighs 1.58 kilos, which is just a touch lighter than the Grip CS. The last version of this bag weighed just 20 grams heavier. So they've cut a little bit of weight off with this version. They've also cut off a ton of storage space, and I'm not loving it. I think that what they achieved with this new version is a sleeker design and a more comfortable bag, but it is not nearly as fun to use. You can't carry as much stuff. The storage that's here is not as versatile, and they made the main disk storage worse. So for the most part, this is not the best design change, and I would much prefer the older version of the Grip CS if I was looking for one right now. I think that this did help them separate between the small bag, the C series, to the B series. I bet that with the old style CS with the full side pockets and beverage holders, that bag was probably doing a much higher percentage of sales compared to the B series. And now that they've shrunk the bag down, shrunk the C series bag down, they're probably seeing a whole lot more B series sell, and maybe that was their goal. I bet that's the case. I bet that is what has happened. As far as the comfort is concerned, they've redesigned the straps on this, as well as what you saw in the AX4 video I did. They've just have a much nicer cut on these straps, and it feels great. Like this bag is comfortable to carry, as long as you don't stuff something in the new zippered pocket that they've added on the back. That is like a pretty logical spot to put a rainfly, which this bag does not come with. I don't think you can even buy the rainfly for this bag right now. Maybe they're out of stock, or I can't remember if they've designed one or not, but I can't buy one. I couldn't find one on their website. I did try stuffing a couple different things in here. There really is a lot of space. You can fit a ton of stuff in there. The first thing I did was just fold up a towel and put it in there, and man, it makes this bag uncomfortable. Like it kills. When that thing pushes way out, it's like the single contact point you feel on your back, and it's kind of bulged in the center, so the bag wants to slide to the left and slide to the right. It's frustrating. It kind of ground my gears, and I forced myself to carry it like that for a while, just because I really wanted to utilize that pocket. I think it's a cool concept, and the reality is it's not. You don't want to put anything in there unless it's something like super low profile. Like maybe that's a sneaky spot that you could put a scorecard, or I don't know, whole breakdowns, caddy book, something like that. You could fit in there probably without feeling it. We've got a couple pads higher on the back, and the straps have a nice dense foam inside there, and we've got a pretty cool design on the sternum strap. It's not as quick and easy to move that thing around as like the beaded slide style, but as long as you're not wearing it, it's really not too difficult to push this clip out and move it up or down as you please. Grip's also got the little Velcro keepers, so that once you figure out how you want to wear the straps, you can roll up the loose ends and Velcro them in place, and then they'll just dress up really nicely. It's a cool touch. Grip's been doing that for a while. Kind of the other outside things are a couple D-rings. We've got one on each corner, and keepers on the straps as well. Moving into the meat of the bag, the big change here is the side storage and the way that they have decided to lay that out. On one side here, I've got a Nalgene. That's the only thing I've got in this pocket. and that fits just great. You can see that when these zip up, they kind of tuck in. It makes them much more low profile when they're zipped closed versus when they're unzipped and stuffed. It's a little bit of a funky thing. You really do have a lot of room inside the pocket, and when you zip it all the way down, that pocket comes up, and then this fabric that's sealing there is a little bit stretchy. So you have like some room to overstuff the pocket. But with how high that fabric comes up, you have an opening where it's much smaller than the inside space. So if you have a whole bunch of stuff stuffed in there, like you'll kind of see, I'll show on the other side, it's a little bit frustrating to like kind of hunt and get in there and like look to see what you've got, just because you can't quite get like low enough. But this also then stops stuff from falling out. You can leave it completely unzipped and get that extra expansion. So the other day I had not just a Nalgene in there, which you can see. I can even zip that closed around the Nalgene if I want to completely capture it inside. I had the Nalgene, and then there's plenty of room if you kind of push that Nalgene out of the way. There's plenty of room inside there for a 12-ounce can. I even had a 16 in there, and if you have if you're carrying multiple beverages like that, with the Nalgene tilted forward, you kind of have a nice spot right there. You can set a can, and it'll sit just below this lip, and hold your can up top there. So you can kind of do 2 beverages on the one side, one bigger water bottle, and then cans if you choose to. We've also got mini marker spots on both sides, and then a pocket big enough to put 2 pencils in side by side. I did try a Sharpie in there, and it did not last. I didn't make it through one round before it fell out of the bag, and luckily somebody I was playing with saw it drop out and picked it up and handed it back to me. I thought I had that Sharpie up in the top there, but I guess I don't. It's just a little bit too loose, and it just worked its way out and fell. I don't know, maybe. Hey, actually, yeah, if I jam a couple pencils in with the Sharpie, that tightens things up just a little bit. That might actually stay in there. The expandable pocket on the other side, I kind of have all my normal extra stuff in there that I carry. I've got my collapsible water bowl for my dog, and then a couple bags with all my bug spray and bag tags and stuff like that. On this side, I carried those 3 items, as well as I tested and fit I got a 24-ounce can in there as well. So again, you can kind of get double duty out of it and have some normal storage, and then also fit a beverage there as you want. It's still just kind of funky. It's not like dedicated space. I feel like both of them are just kind of slot pockets, and you're gonna jam in there whatever extra stuff you have. We have I've got 3 putters that I've been carrying in the top slot for a while. There's a throwing putter, and then I got 2 putting putters in there. I was just carrying 2, but I was really having trouble figuring out my space in the main area, and realized that it was working a whole lot better if I put one extra high profile disc, a wide disc, a putter up in top. And I've also got my towel down there in the bottom, and that's a pretty standard thing that I've done on grip bags for quite a while. Like, you've got the ability, the quiver pocket, pull cord, if you want to make those putters sit up higher. Standard grip, they've been doing that for a while, and it'll make your putters stick out. But if you do that, then you're not really gaining anything with this real estate down here. So you might as well leave them sit low and fill the bottom of it with a towel. And that's just it's a great use of space. You're not going to get anything out of having that putter pocket sit higher anyways. So you might as well put a towel in there. It does get a little bit tight on top if you have three putters in there. You can see even with two putters, one of them is kind of starting to hide from me, and they just kind of will do that. It's not like not a super wide opening. Grip bags are known for kind of separating over time in that putter pocket area and giving you more room if you quote unquote stretch them out. Speaking of stretching out, I really dislike this new squished in at the center hourglass design that Grip has been going with in their current series of bags. The new C series, the new B series, and the new A series bag all really pinch here. Like aesthetically, sure, it's kind of sexy. Like it is cool, it's streamlined look, but it is not functional at all. And if you are going from an old style C to a new C, or it's the same with the old B to new B, or the A series, you're probably going to be frustrated right away that you can't fit nearly as many discs in the new style as you could in the old style. And it's because they're squished in like that. And I've heard people say, well, just jam the bag full of discs and leave it like that and it'll help separate. I did that with this bag. I jammed in 2, maybe 3 more discs than I would normally be comfortable with, to the point that I was worried that I was going to warp the discs that I had put in there. And then I just left it. I just left it sit like that. It if it was going to stretch immediately, it's already done so. And it's still frustrating. It would be one thing if they're just limiting you to that capacity, but they're leaving gaps in these bottom corners, and it makes your entire disc section want to slide to the side. As you're going through a round and pulling discs in, pulling them out, and then pushing them back in, you'll find that your discs start getting tilted, and you're going to have to just constantly fight them to keep them upright. Look what's happened just from me pulling discs in and out. I wasn't like trying to make it happen. They do tend to tilt towards the bottom of the discs, right? I have all of my discs, the top are pointing that way, bottom is pointing this way. And if you're really careful when you're putting discs in and you're constantly like twisting them to correct them to try to keep them straight, you can get them to do that. If you have it overstuffed, that's going to help them stay straight up as well. But if you have just like a normal amount of discs in there, this is what's going to want to happen. They're pulling to this line. They want to get a disc down into this bottom area. It's frustrating. It's not fun to use when your discs are getting all tangled and sliding inside each other. Like, look at this. There's a pink driver that's totally stuck inside that mid-range. Of course, I don't usually stuff mid-ranges in the driver area, but it's not fun to get those in and out like that constantly. So you have to pull them all up straight and then try to get them dressed again. And they'll sit back where they were supposed to. It's one of the most frustrating things about the new design, and I hope that Grip reverts that. I hope that they go to a more straight-sided bag, and I understand if they don't go back to the tall storage and the drink carrier, the double water bottle holders. If they could just do one thing, it would be make these bags with straight sides again, and I think that they would really be back on track to the like powerhouse of a name that Grip has made for themselves in the bag industry. They're probably not going to lose that status. They're so well known, and we see so many of their bags out there. But like slowly, stuff like this is going to eat away, and it bugs more people than me. I guarantee it. We've got the standard valuables pocket, I think is what they call it, up on top. And this is divided. This is how I usually run that. Inside there's two pockets. You can see is divided right here. I've got my wallet on one side, and then I've got my phone in the other pocket. And I like doing my wallet on the zipper side so that I can zip over that and then just have my phone poke out. You can fit more stuff in that pocket than that. It's just not something that you want to access like regularly. I drop my keys down to the bottom. I'll drop dog bags down in there as well. To give you an idea how far that goes down, if I pull my phone out of the side pocket and let it slide to the bottom, it pokes that much further down, and I'll actually leave my phone like that a lot. If I tilt my phone sideways, it'll totally fit in. And you do have real estate up here, so I can potentially tuck my phone in under the top to fit it inside like that. You can see a little bit of red popping up there in the corner. That's a little plastic clip, a key keeper that they have in there. As far as total number of discs, I think I have 14 in here. I've been going like a little bit heavy on putters and mids recently, and so that's reducing the total number that I can carry. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 putters and mids, and then 6 drivers down here, so that's 11, and then the 3 on top. So I do have 14 in here total. And I could fit more. You can see just from how much I've pulled that apart with my fingers, I could jam 2 more discs in there, but you've already seen kind of the issues that I'm dealing with getting discs in and out. And I don't know, maybe even more frustrating than having them slide to the side is having them do that and having them be like incredibly tight and hard to get out of there. Standard bottom on the grip bag, we've got the 2 hard plastic runners. I do find that makes the bags harder to set down in rough terrain. Like I was on some little bit of a weird hillside at a course, and I had rocks and boulders all around me and fallen branches, and I had enough room to make a decent stance, and I'd carried my bag up there with me, but I could not, like the spot that I wanted to put my feet were the obvious spots to put the bag down, but there was other room all around me. It was just combinations of sticks and boulders, and I couldn't find anywhere to set this where it wouldn't just immediately tip. Because of that rigid bottom, if I just catch one stick, it really wants to tip over. I was just replying to a comment in one of my other videos talking about the differences between the hard bottom on the grip and the soft bottom on the pound bags, and that's one of the most notable things. When you've got that harder bottom bag and you try to set it down on where rough terrain, it can be very hard to get it to sit in place properly. I know I've talked about that in some of my previous videos, but it like really hit home again when I was trying to get this bag to sit down. I finally got it negotiated just right. I found like a little bit of a hole where a couple sticks were crossing, and there was a hole in between, and I got the corner of the bag stuffed down in the hole, and it just finally ended up holding it like that. But I probably moved it and tried to set it down in 6, 7, maybe 8 different orientations before I finally got it to stick. We've got a couple pockets that they've put on this flap here, and that is some more scorecard real estate. That's probably all that I would use it for. I don't think I'm going to put a mini there, just because you're going to have these discs rub on that and just give you even one more obstacle and difficulty trying to get the discs in and out. If you think that this bag will really stretch over time and the plastic panels they've put in there can just be flexed out, it really isn't the case. way that they've actually sewn these panels together, like there's not room to stretch it out. If you watch me pull this out, you can see that the front fabric pulls up and gets tighter. Like the shape that the bag is currently in is what it's gonna fight to stay in for years. Like it's not just like a longer break-in period that's needed. This is really going to fight to keep squeezing in on your discs. You can see I jammed a couple pencils up here. They do have extra pencil pockets put in that area. It's kind of a spot where your disc over time is going to work to launch those pencils out. That's cool. I always liked it. There's extra pencil pockets added, but these ones are not in a spot that I think I would ever use. If they really wanted to add an additional spot besides what they have down here, I think I would have gone up on top somewhere where the discs aren't going to hit them. But I think that the quality's up to par overall. Like, I don't have any fabric issues. I don't see any stitching issues. It is a bag that's built to last for sure. I don't think that there is going to be lifespan issues on this bag. It's just about whether the things that I've pointed out being negative about are big enough issue to make you not want to try one. I think that the kind of like the squeezing the discs thing is one of the biggest, and you can kind of fix that by just going up in one size on the bag. If it is coming down to how many discs you really want to carry, maybe look at the B series instead of the C, or look at the A series instead of the B. That's a possible resolution there. Otherwise, you're just going to have to live with, the discs wanting to tilt and overlap a little bit. Maybe running less discs, even less than I have in there, and jamming a couple towels down in those pockets. In the corner pockets would help keep the discs centered and upright. That's definitely a possibility. I don't have anything else to say about this bag. I think I've covered it. I appreciate you guys watching as always. I've got some bags coming in that I'm really excited about, so stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely click that button. Give me the thumbs up if you like my videos and think I'm doing a good job, and jump in the comments if you've got questions about this bag or would like, have any recommendations for bags you'd like to see me review. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.